Who knows? Maybe the return of one of the greats on this show. We'll have the details on that for you again coming up here a little over 10 minutes from now. Right now, though, it is time to hand out an award on this show. It's our Express Pros Pro of the Week, and the Pro of the Week goes to
82 feet from the hole. He's off the green left in the rough. Towards the hole, slowly moving now, picking up speed. That's getting close to the hole now, picking up speed, getting close. Scotty Scheffler, and that is right in. He made it. Chip and birdie. Oh, my goodness. Do you believe it? Scotty Scheffler.
Sirius XM PGA Tour on the call. Congratulations, Scotty Scheffler. The rich get richer. He is your Express Pros Pro of the Week. Is it time for a new job? Then it's time for Express Employment Professionals. Quit the endless online job search. Enlist the pros. And Express never charges job seekers a fee. Go to expresspros.com. Your guy, Scotty Scheffler, Brady. So, and another award for the guy. Guy's winning everything.
And
these
he's
days.
In the hunt right now for the FedEx Championship, as he should be. The weird thing is they're not giving him the two-stroke advantage that they normally got because he's ahead in points. So they're not doing it. It's a level playing field. That's how he wants it, he said. But it does feel odd that you would play the entire season and then not have any advantage after leading the whole time. So,
is he the most successful criminal in sports? Like if you had,
I think it's fair to. I mean, you got to put him up there.
Yeah,
5-stroke advantage is good for me.
Damn,
all right.
4. Yeah. Maybe even 6-stroke advantage.
That's dismissive and disrespectful. I don't know why.
I like that one better. 6.
We are Fox Sports.
Hey, it's Jonas Knox, and if you're exhausted with your online job search, turn to the pros, Express Employment Professionals. Your local Express office is your one connection to endless job opportunities. With just one application, they can help you find a job across dozens of openings. And as always, job seekers never pay a fee. Visit expresspros.com. With more than 870 locations, there's an office nearby ready to help you. To find a location near you, visit expresspros.com. Whether you're looking for contract work or a full-time position, let Express help.
This Sunday, it's the Big Three Championship between the Miami 305 and the Chicago Triplets. This epic fight for the title pits Michael Beasley and Lance Stevenson against Montrezl Harrell. In their regular season meeting, Montrezl exploded for 28 points and dominated the Chicago win. Can Beasley and crew win the rematch when it counts the most? The action starts with the Big Three's 8th annual All-Star Game, featuring Dwight Howard, Greg Monroe, Jordan Crawford, Jonathan Simmons, Glenn Rice Jr., Corey Brewer, and more. The no-holds-barred action starts Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific on CBS.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
There's a couple of crashes on the service road of 183 northbound. The first one's at Balm Road, and the second one's at Lamar Boulevard. This one has the left lane blocked off. There's also a crash on Loop 360 northbound at Courtyard Drive and some stop-and-go speeds on I-35 northbound going from Onion Creek Parkway up to William Cannon. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Aleve. Life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Aleve can help you deal with pain less throughout your day. With just one pill, Aleve lasts up to 12 hours. Don't let those aches and pains hold you back from doing what's important to you. Use as directed.
It's time to warm up that scoreboard and get ready to bring home the win with Specs. Specs has you covered with lower prices on all your favorite fan fuel. From craft beer, rare spirits, and world-class wine to chips, dips, and gourmet finer foods. And with same-day delivery when you order online or through the app, Specs is your MVP for the biggest score of the game. At Specs, the fun starts here.
Here's to you, shout cheers to savings. What's the best place to reach new customers for your business? Wherever they are. And that's exactly where you can be with iHeartMedia. We talk to our listeners everywhere, from the car to the gym to the kitchen. Your next customer is listening. And not only can we get your message to your audience, we can also show you how it's working in real time. That goes for broad brand messaging and targeted hyperlocal influencer campaigns alike. Start growing your business today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
It is tough to go outside these days. Hey, that's understandable given how hot it is. But there is definitely a way to beat the heat. a trip to Inner Space Caverns in Georgetown. Inner Space Caverns is a great place to take the family. You'd be amazed at all of the beautiful formations, large rooms, prehistoric animal bones, and all kinds of creations with a truly unique discovery story right here in the Austin area in the year-round temperature of a very comfortable 72 degrees. You can check out the super exciting Sabertooth Zip Ride or Pan for Gemstones. Take the Wild Cave Tour or the Hidden Passages Tour. And there's a great souvenir gift shop and newly remodeled restrooms. Get out of the house, but get out of the heat and get some fresh air underground. Inner Space Caverns, right off I-35 at exit 259 in Georgetown. That's Inner Space Caverns. For more details, check them out on the web at innerspacecaverns.com. Inner Space Caverns. Check it out. Your adventure awaits.
Lowe's has the Labor Day deals you need to give your home a new look. Buy one, get one free select interior paint via Visa gift card rebate. Then, add the final touch with 2 for $8 on select 2.5 or 3-quart mums. Refresh your home and save big while doing it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 9/3. Mums offer in-store only. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details.
Get the Apple Leasing Advantage today. Visit appleleasing.com. That's appleleasing.com.
We all remember that one teacher who made a difference. Now's your chance to say thank you in a big way. iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. Nominate an outstanding teacher in your life to be among the winners of $5,000 to stock their classroom at iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
Mix and match scents to create your own unique scent combo that is as unique as you are. Mix, match, more happy with Gain.
From the Audio-Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car on the free iHeartRadio app. It's the Morning Kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer, Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns, 1300 The Zone.
Good morning, Austin, K-Town, Pflugerville, H-Town, Pearland, El Paso, San Antonio, and Silsbee, Texas, or wherever you may be listening. This is a Feel Good Friday edition of the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. We are 8 days away from Texas and Ohio State, 13 days away from the Cowboys and Eagles, but we are 1 day away from college football being back. The SEC made changes to the schedule, so we'll talk to Ross Dillinger of Yahoo Sports at 7:34. Tommy Yarch of DallasCowboys.com joins us at 8 o'clock, and Ann Parker Coleman of KView joins us at 8:17. I am your host, Mike Hardball Hardge. My co-host is a WWE Hall of Famer and recognized as the world's strongest man. He is the Mark Henry. He'll be connecting here shortly. And, of course, we've got our guy Marcus behind the boards. And if you want to be a part of the show, all you have to do is text the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. That's the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. Also, if you want to leave a voicemail your opinion, or get a chance to win a pair of tickets to go see Pantera this weekend, all you got to do is download that always free, new and improved iHeartRadio app. Hit that talkback feature on AM 1300 The Zone, and if it's good enough, you might even hear it on air. So Marcus and I were in here show prepping this morning, and we're going back and forth about how we were going to open the show. And obviously, Jackson Dart has done an unbelievable job in New York. Everybody's talking about him and what he's been able to achieve at this particular moment, all the excitement. Then you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers as they handled their business as well against the New England Patriots. But that's not the story. The story is the back and forth that is going on with the Dallas Cowboys and the drama that we are hearing. I know people are probably in the car talking about, hey, Hardge, let's talk about the SEC. We will talk about the SEC coming up in just a moment with Ross Dellinger. You don't want to miss it. He's been all over this story, and it's been going on for a while. He is going to break it all down for what the changes are, and you might want to look at the schedules because some teams are going to fall off that you were looking forward to seeing. That's just my opinion. We'll get it from Ross as well. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the Dallas Cowboys. But right now we're going to talk about them because this back and forth with Jerry Jones, David Mugheletta, and Micah Parsons has gotten to the point of frustration for so many people. The he say, she say soap opera drama that has become the relationship in Dallas. Now, there's stories and layers to all of this. We get it. Is he said, she said, let's get this figured out. Let's get this done. So be it. But the conversations with one Jerry Jones, the one Michael Irvin, and the time that is being spent throughout these conversations has been something that is definitely soap opera worthy. And we've called it before. These are the days of our lives in Valley Ranch. But not Valley Ranch anymore, but the Star, Frisco. But here's JJ talking about David Mugheletta and talking about the fact of how David decided to respond to Jerry's offer.
He'd be the highest guaranteed player ever on defense. It's what he's been offered. When we wanted to send the details to the agent told us to stick it up our ass. Mike and I talked, and then we were going to send it over to the agent. We had our agreements on term, amount, guarantees, everything. And the agent said, don't bother because we've got all that to negotiate. Well, I'd already negotiated. I'd already moved off my mark on several areas. We've had the negotiation in my mind. The agent's trying to get his nose in it and try to come in there and improve off the mark that we'd already set.
Well, here's the deal. And I am really curious to this. And this is why these types of moments are interesting to me. You cannot get a player to agree to something without talking to his agent unless the agent is not representing the player anymore. I want to see what the players' union is going to say about that. I want to see what the players, all the lawyers, basically. I want to see what these guys are going to do about this. Because yes, in the olden days, you can have a gentleman's agreement, but now there are lawyers that are involved. Now, I don't believe Mugheletta would say that to him. I don't think that's how he works. I know he's tough, absolutely, and that's the type of agent that I would want to have representing me because you're going to get me everything that I deserve. Football is a violent sport. The average time in the NFL is not what we're used to seeing. Things change. So you want to have generational wealth. Yes, Jerry said we would have made him the highest paid player at his position. But still, there's ways to go about the business. And right now, it does not seem that they are going about it the legitimate way. The agents definitely have to be involved. And not only that, you're setting the trend for the next guy and the next guy and the guy after that. That is why players go on strike, because they want to make sure that they are compensated properly. We just saw the valuation of the Dallas Cowboys. What is it, $12.8 billion? First double-digit team. There's a lot of money that is involved with this team. So people understand that. But the head coach, Brian Schottenheimer, still believes that Micah Parsons will be in camp.
Because I think at the end of the day, we feel like Mike is going to be out there when we can line up against Philadelphia here in 15 days or whatever it is. And, so no, the answer is, yeah, I feel good about that. Yeah. I think my tone hasn't changed. My answer hasn't really changed. I'm focused on the field. I'm focused on the guys that are working, and the business side of it's going to take care of itself. And, but no, I mean, I could answer those questions all day long.
Interesting. And I appreciate that. And I like the fact that he's holding out hope, so to speak. Because
is that coaches speak though?
I would say in a certain part of it, I would say it's coach speak. But because of the relationship that Schottenheimer seems to have forged with all of his players, not just Micah. Micah's the star. Micah is the best player on your team, excluding CeeDee Lamb. Okay? So he is your best player on defense.
Yeah, definitely.
So you have got to have spent some time with him, and this isn't his first year with the Cowboys, so he has spent some time with them. But he's in a unique situation because of the fact that your star player in your first year that you were trying to impress the fan base that, hey, they got the hire right. Now you're handcuffed a little bit because you do not have your best player on your defense going up against the defending NFL champions.
Yeah, out the gate.
Yeah, and you are put in a place that not only are you going up against them, it's a divisional game
and a rivalry
game without your best player. Now, they could get the deal done like they've done with everything else, but you know as well as I do. I know Micah's out there trying to work and be around the organization, and that's great. But the thing that I always look at is when you're not out there playing football and you're not getting in football shape, you're not going to be in football shape when the first game starts because you hadn't been out there working.
Yeah, you got to take a hit. You got to hit somebody.
And you can work out as much as you want. You can lift, you can run, you can do all that. But the cutting, the movement, the kinesiology part of what you're supposed to be doing is not happening. And those are the moments that scare me. Because what Jerry has been saying, man, I gave somebody some money and he wasn't even out there for half the games. You just listened to it just a little while ago.
Unless Parsons pulled his version of an Emmitt Smith in the very first 2 plays, he gets 2 sacks.
Yeah, and that would be great. That would be great. But history has told us it don't always work like that. And to Jerry's point, he's under contract. He is under contract. So I see where Jerry is with that. But here's where Micah Parsons is with that, because he posted on his TikTok. I mean, that's where everybody posts everything. It's either your social media. By the way, follow us at AM 1300 The Zone on all social media platforms. But he decided he wanted to go Allen Iverson.
I'm going to win wherever I go. Wherever I go, I'm going to win. I don't care where I go. I don't give a damn what team I go to, I'm going to win. I'm going to win regardless. It don't matter. It don't matter. You talk about making your teammates better, I'm going to make them better. Wherever I go, I'm going to win. Just like they named me the MVP, that's what I am. That's what I always felt like I was. I've been in this league for 6 years. I felt like I was the MVP for 6 years.
Tell him, Micah. Tell him. Let us know.
Yeah, they got Micah doing audio editing now.
Oh, man, he's turned up. And the one thing that I continue to understand about the business is that it's just that. If you're going to stand on business, you need to stand on business. But the one thing that I continue to try to understand is, when is the resolution going to happen? Micah's under contract. Jerry knows that. Micah knows that. Mugaleta knows that. But at the end of the day, we're playing all these political games again, posturing to see who's going to give in. And the only people that it's hurting is the fans that support the Dallas Cowboys. They got to get this thing figured out ASAP Rocky. We're just getting started on a feel-good football Friday. That didn't sound like it feel good, but coming up next, we're going to talk about some good things with the Texas Longhorns, all SEC team, Earl Campbell watch list, and so much more on a Feel Good Friday edition of the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
Join Craig Way weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m.
One time when Bill Schoening and I were doing a Tuesday night game, and there was an umpire behind the plate, Tom Jenkins. And Tom was a rather corpulent fellow, and he lets a pitch go in there, and you hear this pop again. He goes, ball two. Then crystal clear that our field mic picked up was some fan yelling, Jenkins, you fat.
Only on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
There's a couple of crashes on the service road of 183 northbound. The first one's at Boehm Road, and the second one's at Lamar Boulevard. This one has the left lane blocked off. There's also a crash on Loop 360 northbound at Courtyard Drive and some stop-and-go speeds on I-35 northbound going from Onion Creek Parkway up to William Cannon. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Staples.
What up, Mario Lopez here? You know, I love me a throwback like the Staples Easy button. It's back and bringing more easy than ever. Custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Plus, next day delivery to over 98% of the U.S. Yeah, Staples, that was easy.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
After 48 years, Factory Mattress is going out of business forever. Over $15 million worth of world-class mattress brands must be sold immediately. Up to 80% off at Austin and San Antonio's largest independent mattress retailer. Everything must go, right down to the bare walls. Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, and Stearns & Foster. No interest financing is still available. The Factory Mattress going out of business sale is happening now at all 14 locations. Don't miss it.
Would you drive 10 minutes for $500? That's the distance from CarMax to Henna Chevrolet. And Henna guarantees you $500 more than any CarMax offer for your vehicle. Just show Henna your written CarMax appraisal offer within 7 days, and you'll get $500,000 more guaranteed. Is your time worth $50 a minute? It is at Henna. Come get your money at Henna.com.
Henna Chevrolet, we'll always stand by you.
Together, let's drive.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Hey there, local business owner. Ready to make some more money? Whether you own an auto shop or a dinner spot, Valpak Direct Marketing can help you do just that. All bells and whistles are included. So you advertise when and where it counts to reach new customers that spend more. Measurable results, proven reach, zero guesswork. That's Valpak. Visit valpak.com/advertise to see if you qualify for a free mailing. That's VALPAK.com/advertise. Let's grow.
This Sunday, iHeart presents the Big Three Championship between the Miami 305 and the Chicago Triplets. This epic fight for the title pits Michael Beasley and Lance Stevenson against Montrezl Harrell. In their regular season meeting, Montrezl exploded for 28 points and dominated the Chicago win. Can Beasley and crew win the rematch when it counts the most? The action starts with the Big Three's 8th annual All-Star Game, featuring Dwight Howard, Greg Monroe, Jordan Crawford, Jonathan Simmons, and more. The no-holds-barred action starts Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific on CBS.
Texas football plays here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 Coming up in the next segment, we'll be talking to Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports, who was talking about the SEC change in the schedule that is going to be coming up next season. And it's going to be interesting because some of those big games that you thought were going to be on the calendar may not be on the calendar. So it'll be interesting to talk. We are 8 days away from Texas and Ohio State. George Shipley days, Sid Griffin days, Dan Malone days, Wayne McGarity days, whoever got you to understand that number 8 was a number at the University of Texas that had success. That's how many days we are away from it. 8 days away. And shout out to CB for always posting the numbers on the countdown as always. Shout out to K-State Sam. That's right. K-State opens up the football season tomorrow in Dublin, Ireland. And his mom and dad are living their best life over there. We'll get into that conversation as well. But right now, I want to go into the awards list. We've gone through the awards list with the football team all season long. Before the season even started, we've been talking about this. And so it's been an exciting time. And the SEC has given out their all SEC preseason teams. And this is voted on by the coaches and the representatives of the SEC and everything that is going on with that. The Texas Longhorns had 8 representatives on all 3 levels. The Florida Gators had 8. 12 teams had at least one first team all SEC representative, including the conference best with 8 was from Georgia. So there's a lot of talent in Georgia, and that's one of the teams that we continue to look at. Alabama and Georgia each had 11, with Texas and Florida following with 10 and 8. The starting quarterback on the first team is Grant Nussmeier. Grant Nussmeier is the starting quarterback. He's the one that's getting all the hype. I know a lot of folks have been talking about him, so that's why you don't see Arch Manning on that list. But the running back, Quintravian Wisner, University of Texas, comes in as a first-team running back. DJ Campbell comes in as a first-team offensive lineman. And the funny thing about DJ Campbell is he's another one of those guys that every time you see him or you hear from him, he's letting you know exactly what it is. He said he wants to be one of the nastiest lines in football, and that's including himself and the entire O-line. On the first team on defense, the man, the myth, the legend, Colin Simmons is on that defensive line. Anthony Hill Jr., linebacker, and Michael Taft rounds out the first team on defense for the Texas Longhorns. On second team, you're looking at the list, and you're like, wait, we don't have anybody on the offensive line. We don't have anybody in the running back room. I thought my man C.J. Baxter was for sure going to be on there, but they wanted to see what he was going to be like when he came back. And I think by the end of the year, he will definitely make some noise on this list. But you put out there right now, Malik Muhammad is the only one on the defense and on the second team representing the University of Texas on offense and defense. Jack Bowmeister, the new punter, he is representing on the second team. On the third team, the quarterback is DJ Lagway. I guess I should have told you. The second team is Lenoris Sellers, quarterback for South Carolina. Third team is DJ Lagway of Florida. And Trevor Gooseby represents the Texas football team on the third team. I think he, too, will be on the first team by the end of the season. I look at Trey Moore on the defensive line, playing outside linebacker and getting that opportunity. Trey Moore is on the third team. And as you go down to the bottom, you got kickoff specialist Will Stone. Will Stone rounds out the Texas football team that has been named all SEC preseason by the coaches on that poll. I wanted to go talk about something that is very near and dear to a lot of people, and that is the Tyler Rose Earl Campbell award. That is an award that is given to someone who obviously exemplifies what Earl was all about. The award continues to be a major part of the best player to come that either plays in the state of Texas or is born in the state of Texas. Last season, Quinn Ewers and Gunnar Helm were semifinalists on it before. Texas running back Jonathan Brooks was recognized as a finalist before, and Dante Foreman took it home in 2016. So there's definitely been some representation. CJ Baxter has been tabbed as the Comeback Player of the Year award watch list on August the 17th, but he's also been placed on the preseason watch list for the Doak Walker Award. He's from Orlando, Florida, but obviously being at the University of Texas puts you in that conversation, and he is somebody that a lot of folks are pulling for. Trey Wisner is obviously he led the team in rushing last year, had a huge step in his productivity last year after being on special teams his freshman year, coming in, dealing with the injuries that everybody had in that running back room. He stepped up, and now he's considered one of the best backs in the country and, of course, in the SEC. So him being on that list is outstanding. DeAndre Moore, third-year wide receiver. He's played in 25 games at the University of Texas. He's from California, but he had a great season last year. He had a huge season in last year and had some big-time games for the University of Texas, including a career-high 9 receptions for a career-high 114 yards and a touchdown in the SEC championship game. So he is somebody that folks have been talking about for quite some time. So for Earl Campbell and everybody else that is involved in this is a big, big moment for these Texas players, because you got to have pride in everything that you do. And he is definitely one of those guys that a lot of folks are looking forward to this season. I know that his relationship with one Arch Manning has been talked about. They hit it on the deep ball a lot, and they seem to have a good rapport as Texas will hit the road to take on Ohio State. This is going to be somebody that we're going to definitely need to be paying attention to. Marcus, when Texas has been talked about coming into the season, you know, we've talked about the hype. We talk about it every morning about the subtleness to it, though. But when you start to watch and see all these names of these top-ranked players, it kind of fits, doesn't it? I mean, the hype is real.
Yeah,
but you start looking at these teams and how many of these players on this team, the 5 stars after 5 stars, the 4 stars after 4 stars, they just seem to get better and better, and they seem to be comfortable.
It's not just that. It's also even walk-ons are getting so much better. Like Taft is pretty much he's on the team, right?
Yeah, he's the one of the
yeah, he's a walk-on, and it's like it's not only are you getting 5 stars, but you're getting walk-ons to move up like that. So,
and he's awarded a scholarship, and now he understands what it's about. He's a preseason All-American. It's the development part, though.
Yeah.
I think that is
it's the combination of the two. It's development and bringing in just high talent. You raise high talent and you develop it.
Yeah, it's
you can
interesting.
always be dominant.
The thing that I like about it, though, and what I've been able to see because of the fact that I've been following this team for so long, and I think that is why you start to look around, and if you look up, Vince Young is everywhere, right?
Yep.
Like right now, Vince is the hottest thing out there, and I think the reason being is because of the fact that we are at a point, we're 20 years away from the national championship. 20 years. This is the 20th year of Vince Young's championship run, and with that team, that outstanding football team that had all these NFL players.
Another team with deep talent.
Exactly. And so we're starting to see some of those. And then you understand when Vince did it, he was a redshirt junior. This is a redshirt junior year for Arch. So you start to understand that, hey, there's some similarities to a team that is got a huge, huge opportunity to change the narrative at the University of Texas. It's already working into that area. I guess they got him listed as a sophomore still, Archibald Manning, but we'll see. Coming up next, we'll have a conversation with Ross Dellinger as he breaks down this new schedule. And I got some questions for him about exactly who's coming off the schedule moving forward. Right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
All lanes are back open after an accident cleared on Research Boulevard northbound at Lamar Boulevard, but there is still an accident being worked on Ed Bluestein Boulevard going northbound at Balm Road, as well as an accident on the 130 Toll Road northbound before Gaddis School Road, and watch out for a new crash on Wells Branch Parkway at Howard Lane. I'm Jason Fossig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Payday. Hardworking people need a hardworking candy bar. Packed with peanuts and filled with golden caramel, Payday is definitely working hard for you. So grab one now to power you through the day. Payday Peanut Caramel Bar. Get to it.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
iHeart presents the Big Three Basketball Championship and 8th Annual All-Star Game. Miami 305's Michael Beasley and Lance Stevenson taking on Montrezl Harrell and Dr. J's Chicago Triplets for the title. Plus Dwight Howard, Greg Monroe, and more. CBS Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific.
Looking for top-quality permanent fencing for your home or business? Look no further than Viking Fence. With over 50 years of experience in Central Texas, Viking Fence delivers craftsmanship you can trust. Whether you need wood, iron, or a custom solution, Viking has the perfect fence to fit your needs. What sets Viking Fence apart? They source the finest quality Western red cedar lumber direct from the mill, the most durable and attractive fence material available. Plus, they offer 3 grades of fence pickets to meet every budget. So whether you want Viking to install your fence or you're taking on the project yourself, call Viking Fence today. They pride themselves on excellent work, outstanding service, and an honest reputation. Call 512-601-8911 for a free estimate. That's 512-601-8911. Or visit VikingFence.com/radio. That's VikingFence.com/radio for your free estimate today. When you think fence, think Viking.
Quiet down, here she comes. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems like snoring, aches and pains, hot sleep, or even an old saggy mattress that can keep you up at night. And our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now you can upgrade to a queen mattress and adjustable base for just $499.99. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Tigers with a 6-run first swept the Astros in Detroit. Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer expects pass rusher Micah Parsons to be on the field for week 1 despite recent contract issues. Texans will have a joint practice with the Lions today ahead of their preseason finale Saturday in Detroit. Longhorns getting set for their season opener next Saturday against Ohio State in Columbus. I'm Rhonda Moss.
This is Doug Gottlieb. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Mercedes-Benz. Looking for an exceptional driving experience? Find it behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz SUV. Experience the power, precision, and intelligence of an iconic Mercedes-Benz SUV at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer today.
Recently on an episode of the Fud Around and Find Out podcast with AZ Fudd, we were joined by Courtney Williams and Natisha Heidemann, the Stud Buds, for a conversation that goes from viral moments to downright chaos.
Courtney, you picked me up at All-Star. Do you remember that?
Stop it. I was picking people up, but I do remember picking you up, for sure. I picked you up in a different way, AZ, than I was picking the other baddies up. You feel me?
To hear this and more, open your free iHeartRadio app. Search Fud Around and Find Out with AZ Fudd and listen now.
It's Bud Light's countdown to kickoff on 1300 The Zone.
We are Xavier Worthy when he was a freshman, days away from kickoff between Texas and Ohio State. Texas is entering its second year in the SEC, but there's already some changes in the SEC as our guy, Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports, joins us. And Ross, let's get right into it. Number one, thank you for getting up with us this morning. I know you're a busy man, so I appreciate you taking the time. But let's get right into it. The SEC has now announced that next season they will move to a 9-game schedule within the SEC. And I'm sure you've been all over this story for quite some time. What was your initial thoughts when this was, number one, proposed, but number two, when it finally came to an head and they decided to make this move?
Well, it was a little surprising. They've been kind of going back and forth on the 8 versus 9 issue for a very long time. 4 years since Oklahoma and Texas kind of got in the SEC, they've been seriously going back and forth on the issue. So it's been close to 4 years, and some would say even a lot more, even before Oklahoma and Texas got in, they've been going back and forth. So there's been a lot of disagreement. Even heading into this week's meetings, there was, I think, a decent amount of disagreement on this and split. And I think so most people kind of thought that the SEC would remain at 8 games. And for whatever reason, this week, Greg Sankey, who's been in favor of moving to 9 games for years now, sort of got the athletic directors across the line, or enough of them across the line to give a recommendation on 9 games. And I think, it was probably 2 or 3 reasons why. ESPN did come with more money, as much as $5 million per school annually, I think is around the number. And so there's always this additional revenue is sort of welcomed right now, especially in this sort of financial stressful time for schools. And then, there's several other reasons, right? You play each other more. I think everybody in the three permanent, 6 rotational model, everybody gets to play one another at least once every 2 years and twice every 4 years. So at least once at home, you'll have everybody in the league. So that's certainly a benefit. And then, of course, maybe the big benefit, and maybe what really pushed this thing across the line this week, was the college football playoff, and how the SEC needed to get sort of on the same footing with their conference games as the Big Ten, which Big Ten has played for years, 9 conference games. And so now it sort of eases the conversations on a future college football playoff format.
We're talking to Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports. And Ross, you mentioned it, under the new format, the SEC will continue to have their single standing non-divisional structure, which I think is interesting, especially with all the teams that are in there. I do like the fact that you have the same 3 opponents that basically you can keep your rivalry games, because I think that's important. But there's something that has happened since Texas A&M has never played Georgia. Like, how is that possible with them being in the league, obviously longer than the University of Texas, and still have never had a chance to play the Georgia Bulldogs?
Yeah, that's what the problem is when your conference sort of gets too big and you only play 8 conference games. That's one of the issues. And there's a lot of those sort of situations where one school hasn't played the other in in a long time. And I think that this 9-game schedule and the way it's modeled out will sort of solve some of those issues. I think that's one of the big issues is how often the schools play one another. So now you'll have this rotation. So you have your 3 permanent games and 3 permanent opponents, and then you'll have your 6 rotational, and so you'll be able to see everybody once every other year. And I know you guys are based there in Texas, and everybody kind of wants to know sort of who the permanent opponents are and how the SEC will go about picking them. And I would assume that they're already decided. And honestly, they've probably been decided for a while. Back 3 years ago when they chose the 3-6 sort of model for this 9 games, because like I said, it's been going on for a long time. They sort of, I don't know if they actually announced it, but we wrote about it 3 years ago, how they'll go about doing it. And they'll look at 3 sort of considerations. One is geography. 2 is primary and secondary rivalries. And then 3 is sort of equity, balancing the schedules and stuff like that. So I took a guess a couple of years ago on what, given those 3 things, who everybody's permanent opponents will be. And I'm assuming we'll learn more about that, through the fall, because I think that probably some of the lists that were first circulated 2 or 3 years ago, that probably have changed a little bit based on the balance and the success over the last few years of teams, and just the changes and all that stuff.
I think that the 3 teams would be Texas A&M, obviously, OU, and I believe Arkansas will remain to be that team because of the history, the Southwest Conference, the Big 12, and all the different changes that was going on with that. So I would look at them like that. But my other question for you would be, Texas has, going into next year, they have Texas State, Ohio State, and UTSA. With the 9-team schedule now, you got to start dropping off some of those bigger games, don't you?
Well, you got to keep one power non-conference power game. So they're still required. The SEC schools are still required to play one game against the Big 12, Big 10, ACC, or Notre Dame.
Gotcha.
So you got to keep one. So you'll have 2 games that you can have against non-power schools. So every SEC school will play 10 power league games, and I think most believe that's sort of good for college football in the grand scheme and nationally. So you will, I think a lot of schools have scheduled out 2 non-conference power league games, and you'll probably see them sort of buy out of those games, the second one. But I would be surprised if several SEC schools have 11 power conference games. So I think the ideal is to have 10 and then have 2 with either FCS or the group of 5.
Well, this is going to be an interesting time, to say the least. The changes that are happening in college football, from the NIL situation to now realignment, schedules changing, just so much going on. And make sure that you get over and follow Ross Dellinger at Ross Dellinger on social media, and of course all his work at Yahoo Sports. Ross, as always, man, I appreciate you taking the time, brother.
Yeah, no problem. Going to be on.
No problem. There he is, Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports. Make sure you follow him at Ross Dellinger. Coming up, we're going to close out hour number 1. College football starts tomorrow, and we're going to talk about 2 Big 12 teams that are ranked in the top 25 to kick it all off, right here on a Feel Good Friday, Football Friday edition of the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Coach Sark here. Stay connected to the Longhorns on the free iHeartRadio app.
Breaks the tackle, 30, turns down the sidelines.
Just search 1300 The Zone. Hook 'em.
Listen to something authentically Austin, the JB and Sandy podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
All lanes are back open after an accident cleared on Research Boulevard northbound at Lamar Boulevard, but there is still an accident being worked on Ed Bluestein Boulevard going northbound at Balm Road, as well as an accident on the 130 Toll Road northbound before Gaddis School Road, and watch out for a new crash on Wells Branch Parkway at Howard Lane. I'm Jason Fossig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Hardge here. School's back in session, so let's make sure your ride is ready. At Cover Chevy in Hutto, it's not just about the vehicle, it's about the people riding with you. Get $14,000 off MSRP on a new 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 RST or $6,000 off of MSRP on a new 2025 Chevy Tahoe Premier. Start the school year strong with Covert Chevy, Highway 79 in Hutto, or shop covertchevyhutto.com. Together, let's drive.
Liz went from being interested in true crime to living true crime.
My husband comes back and he's shaking. He said, your dad's been killed.
This is Hands Tied, a true crime podcast exploring the murder of Jim Melgar.
I was just completely in shock.
Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Hands Tied, and listen now.
It's time to warm up that scoreboard and get ready to bring home the win with Specs. Specs has you covered with lower prices on all your favorite fan fuel. From craft beer, rare spirits, and world-class wine to chips, dips, and gourmet finer foods. And with same-day delivery when you order online or through the app, Specs is your MVP for the biggest score of the game. At Specs, the fun starts here.
Here's to you, cheers to savings. Grown-ups, don't go back to school. Go forward through school into your future as an IT professional. Whether you're starting out, switching careers, or a veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you get into IT in just a few short months with no prior experience. So take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Your rewarding career in IT awaits. That's mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the VA benefits.
Save big during Labor Day at Lowe's. Get up to 40% off select major appliances. Plus, buy more to get up to an additional 20% off. Shop even more savings with 3 Stay Green 1 cubic foot vegetable and flower garden soil bags for $10. This Labor Day, take care of your home for less at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 9/3. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location. Select locations only. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.
When it's time for a new car, you need to call Apple Leasing, 346-9977. I've leased cars from them for over 20 years and getting ready to do it again. We are trading in my wife's car and getting her into a brand new under warranty lease. If you've got a car with a whole bunch of miles on it, it's really kind of a ticking time bomb until you've got a big expense to get it repaired. Wouldn't you like to not have that ticking time bomb? Well, when you lease a brand new car from Apple Leasing, the car's under warranty. You know how much the payment's going to be, and that payment is often a lot less than if you were to finance that exact same car. There's no surprises with Apple Leasing. Car's under warranty, and by the time the lease is up and you turn it in and get another one, you haven't had to put brakes on it. You haven't had to put new tires on it. Call Apple Leasing today, 346-9977.
From the Audio-Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KBET AM Austin, your home for the Horde, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeartRadio app.
Find your iHeartRadio everywhere. There are hundreds of ways to experience iHeartRadio at home and on the go, beyond the iPhone and Android app and at iHeartRadio.com. Here's another way to connect to iHeartRadio. Apple CarPlay. Our iOS app comes alive in your car's dashboard with a seamless way to play your favorite music, radio stations, and podcasts. Developed with driver safety in mind, the Apple CarPlay interface was built for simple navigation and to limit driver distraction while making sure you can still access all your favorite content from iHeartRadio. No need to download another app. Just plug or pair your iPhone with your dash, and if CarPlay is available in your vehicle, iHeartRadio will sync automatically. iHeartRadio, everywhere you want to listen, including in your car through Apple CarPlay. Check it out for free now. iHeartRadio, anywhere you want to listen, iHeartRadio is there.
Hey, it's Coach Sark. Now back to the morning kickoff with Hardge and Henry on your radio home for the Longhorns, 1300 The Zone.
You heard Coach Sark. This is your home for Texas football. Actually, make sure you download the iHeartRadio app. Put it as your preset where you can catch all the action and the voice of the Texas Longhorns, Craig Way. You can listen to the Craig Way Show this afternoon from 2 to 5 with my man Cam Parker as well. They'll be giving away some tickets. Right now, I'm giving away some tickets. That's right. We've been giving away all week long. We've been giving away a pair of tickets to see Pantera September the 2nd at the Germania Insurance Amphitheater. All you have to do, I told you to keep that iHeartRadio app on, get over there and touch that microphone and leave the keyword of the day, which is Cowboys. Cowboys. Imagine that. Coming up in the next segment, we will be talking Cowboys with Tommy Yarsh of DallasCowboys.com as the Cowboys prepare for their last preseason game. But, of course, you always want to make sure you get a chance to win a pair of tickets to go see Pantera right here on the morning kickoff. Keyword Cowboys. I want to talk about the college football game because college football starts tomorrow. And I know that everybody has been losing their mind and the excitement is out of control. That's right. It is time for football season. I know everybody keeps thinking about the Texas Longhorns and Ohio State. You also have Clemson and LSU. It's going to be a huge weekend next weekend on the 30th. But we have college football tonight as Iowa State, the Cyclones, with Dan Campbell still doing his thing over there in Iowa State, taking on the K-State Wildcats. K-State is favored by 3. They have an unbelievable football team when you start to think about Avery Johnson with the long locks and the flowing hair and what he brings to the table. But Iowa State and Campbell, did I call him Dan Campbell just a little while ago? Maybe I did. I don't know, but he's not Dan Campbell, but he is one hell of a coach. And, you know, since being out of the Big 12, a lot of folks have looked at these games and not looked at it the way that we used to, because you really don't have to, because you're in the SEC now and that's where football is played, right? But K-State has always been one of those teams that you have to have a battle with. You have to come in and be ready to go. But the fact that they're playing in Dublin, Ireland, it kind of, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about opening the season on the road in another country. But I know that a lot of fans and a lot of people are over there. I said Wildcat Sam just a little bit ago. His family is over there since they've retired, and they're all K-State alums. So they've been over there enjoying and living their best life. So that game will be on ESPN. We also have Idaho State and UNLV starting at 3:00. Not much to talk about there because UNLV is favored by 26.5. You also have another Big 12 team playing Fresno State taking on Kansas with their new stadium and new people and still trying to figure out what they're going to do. But Justice Finkley, former Texas Longhorn, named a captain over there in Lawrence, he will get a chance to play. Proud of that young man. So if you're going to watch the game, that game will be on Fox. You'll be able to check him out. And then if you want to get some scouting in, Sam Houston will be playing Western Kentucky on CBS Sports Network at 6:00 tomorrow night. So you will get a chance to see a team that Texas is going to be playing in its 3rd home game this year. Yeah, it's his 3rd home game. They will be taking on the Sam Houston Bearcats. In that matchup, Western Kentucky is favored by 10.5. But the over-under is 61.5. If you go back and you look at these other games, 51.5 is one, 65.5, 49.5, 61.5, and 50.5 points for the nightcap on CBS. You have Stanford taking on Hawaii. And then next week is game week. I cannot wait for that. So be prepared. Spend your time. I saw one, my boy, Occupy Left Field, Mark Pena, he already talked about we get to get breakfast tacos and crack open a beer at 11 a.m., kegs and eggs to watch football. So the season is upon us. Marcus, I mean, I know that you're a busy man and you look forward to these moments, but how excited are you that football season is here?
Oh, man, I talk about football all the time during non-football time. So when football is actually going on, I used to make this joke, and it's in particular to the NFL. I will call the NFL Natasha Felicia Lewis my girlfriend. So it's basically like getting your girlfriend back.
Wait. What'd you say you call her?
Natasha Felicia Lewis, NFL.
Oh, my God.
I would have thought of a name for college, but it's just –
there's a lot going on, right?
It's too many conferences, and like I can't make it make sense. So I just say, hey, I just got college football back.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, plus high school. Yeah, always catch me catching a high school football game here and there.
Yeah, you're going to definitely have to come to some of these games that I'll be going to in the Pflugerville ISD. A lot of talent in Pflugerville ISD, so there's going to be some big name players that are going to come out of that. So we'll be checking out some high school football games. Also, we'll be definitely working. This will be your first year working with us for game day and being around the state. I'm talking about with this station.
Yeah.
We know you were across town with us, but now you're with iHeart and AM 1300 The Zone.
Excited about it too.
Yeah. And the fact that we are the home, and there's a lot of positivity swinging this way when you start to think about the Texas football team, what's happening with them. You start looking across the state of Texas and all the good things that are happening in football. I know we don't talk a ton of Aggies, but we will have some Aggies on the show next week. We are going full in on football mode, and that is what we've been expected. But we're also going to be talking a lot of NFL. We'll talk to Tommy Yarsh of DallasCowboys.com, get his latest on the soap opera, which is the Dallas Cowboys. But, of course, it's cut time. There's going to be some guys that's dreams are over for just a little bit, unless they get picked up by another team or get on the practice squad. There's a lot of players that are going to be in transition and transactions after this weekend because it is the final weekend of the NFL. We'll also be talking to Ann Parker Coleman of KView at 8:17. She'll be joining us to talk all things high school football and, of course, Texas football because they'll be covering it from front to back. Hour number 1 is in the books. Hour number 2 is just around the corner on a feel-good Football Friday edition of the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
This Sunday, iHeart presents the Big Three Championship between the Miami 305 and the Chicago Triplets in the most physical, fierce, and competitive basketball league in the world. This epic fight for the Big Three Championship title pits two-time MVP Michael Beasley and Big Three Fourth Man of the Year Lance Stevenson against trash-talking Rookie of the Year Montrezl Harrell. In their regular season meeting, Montrezl exploded for 28 points and dominated for the Chicago win. Can Beasley and crew win the rematch and triumph when it counts the most? The action starts with the Big Three's 8th annual All-Star Game, featuring Dwight Howard, Greg Monroe, Jordan Crawford, Jonathan Simmons, Glenn Rice Jr., Frank Nitti, Earl Clark, Deshaun Stevens, Corey Brewer, and more. No phoning it in the Big Three. This is an All-Star Game where the stars show up to battle. The 2025 Big Three Championship and annual All-Star Game. The no-holds-barred action starts Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific on CBS.
Yay! Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One, is coming back to Las Vegas, September 19th and 20th. Streaming live only on Hulu. Tickets are on sale now at AXS.com. Get your tickets today. AXS.com.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
If you played pickleball in regular sneakers, you know you can pay the price. They don't cut it. And Todd found this out the hard way. We have this great sponsor, Tyrell. They make the best pickleball shoes. So one day Todd is playing pickleball and he forgot his Tyrell pickleball shoes. Well, you know what happened? He got hurt. He was playing in some fancy different shoes that aren't meant for pickleball, and he learned a lesson. Tyrell has everything you need to keep your feet cool. They're tough. They're lightweight. They're so solid on your feet, and you're going to wear and tear on the court, and they're ready to go. Every detail is built to help you play better. Tyrell pickleball shoes. If you want to play longer, feel better, and stop sliding around in those old sneakers, go to TyrellPickleball.com. You can look like a pro. You can play like a pro. It's Tyrell pickleball shoes. You spell it Tyrol. Tyrell pickleball shoes, the best pickleball shoes, purpose-built for pickleball.
Greg Way here, voice of a local college football team, and for Dr. Greg Eckert with Advanced Dentistry, where I've been a patient of his for over a decade. You can experience a new level of dental care in Austin with Dr. Eckert. They provide general, cosmetic, and advanced restorative dentistry. Unlike a lot of dentists, they're open on Fridays. And get this, Dr. Eckert is giving away Zoom teeth whitening for free with every new patient that schedules. That's a $600 value. Give them a call today to set up an appointment. 512-345-3166. Dr. Eckert is spelled UECKERT. DrEckert.com.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else, and we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. Get started today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Live radio, trusted DJs, breaking news, live play-by-play, endless music, and podcasts just for you. It's the free iHeartRadio app. Radio your way. Join the millions who already have it. Download the free iHeartRadio app, the #1 app for radio.
From the Audio Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeartRadio app.
Good morning, Kickoff. Good morning, Kickoff.
It's the Morning Kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer, Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns, 1300 The Zone.
It's a feel-good football Friday edition of the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. In hour number one, we realize we are 8 days away from Texas versus Ohio State, but we also know that the NFL is king, and that is why we're going up to the Metroplex to talk to my guy, Tommy Yarsh of DallasCowboys.com. Tommy, let's get right into this conversation because the soap opera, which is Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons, will not go away. But do you see some light at the end of the tunnel, and is it a freight train running us over?
Well, Mark, every time I think I know something in this, it gets thrown in my face very quickly afterwards. This has been one heck of a process with all kinds of twists and turns. And, you know, at the end of the day, I still think that my initial stance, and I told you guys this last week and before, is that something's going to get done. I think if the way that I look at it is, you know, I go back to the start of training camp and the fact that Micah Parsons is there with the team, and, you know, in recruiting, they say follow the visits, right? Yeah. And in business, they say follow the money. And to me, Micah Parsons being present in Oxnard and not holding out and missing however much it is every day for not being there, I think it's $50,000, shows me that money is important to Micah Parsons, rightfully so. It should be. And the fact that, you know, he stayed there and he didn't miss any of those checks tells me that money's important to him. And obviously it is because he's looking for a record-setting extension that would make him the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. I don't think that he's going to miss game checks because you're looking at, $1 million+ a week that you'd be missing out on. So at the end of the day, I think Micah Parsons plays week 1, and I think that the Cowboys get a deal done with him. Now, the question on that is when, because Jerry Jones is very comfortable letting this thing go for 3 years like he did with Dak Prescott. Let him franchise tag twice and then go from there. They, of course, got the deal done right after that second tag was added. But eventually, if Micah Parsons wants this deal done earlier, I think he and his agent are going to have to get together and say, all right, look, something's got to give here. And I think they're the ones that are going to have to give.
Are you thinking that they're going to play chicken, or are they just going to roll this thing out and just let it play out where it may?
That's a great question. I think that what I think will probably happen is I think Micah and David Mulugheta, which to give them credit, I think they are playing this exactly how they should. I think that they're trying to get as much leverage as they can, and Parsons doesn't really have a lot of it. So all of this, to me looks like, all right, how can we generate as much leverage as we can in these negotiations? I think at some point it's going to get to a point where they look at one another and say, look, we've got to get back to the negotiating table. And, Jerry Jones said, hey, we had X, Y, and Z agreed upon. And so we've got to work with that and figure out a way to get across the finish line. And, I think Jerry Jones is open to that. And I think that at the end of the day, getting this thing done is something that both sides want to do, but Jerry Jones feels like they had a deal in place, and they have a deal in place in terms of terms. And so the question is, what are Micah Parsons and David Mulugheta willing to give up to get across that finish line? Because I think Jerry Jones is pretty dug in here because he knows he has the gift of time on his side.
No doubt. We're talking to Tommy Yarge of DallasCowboys.com. You can follow him at Tommy_Yarge. And Tommy, a lot of Texas Longhorn fans were very excited when one Jaden Blue got drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. That'd be me raising my hand saying that I was excited about it. But we've been waiting for him to get on the field. Is this the night that we get a chance to see him play?
I would expect that to be the case. Yes, he was practicing all week. That was, the telltale sign last week that he wasn't going to play was in practice. He practiced in both of the teams' final 2 training camp practices earlier this week, and he talked to us after the first one and said he was ready to go, feeling good. And so, yeah, I expect Jaden Blue to play tonight.
And going to the defensive side, DeMarvion Overshown, how close is he to being ready to go? Or are they still kind of pacing themselves with him?
Well, it depends who you ask. I think if you ask DeMarvion Overshown, he was ready to go yesterday. But if you ask the Cowboys training staff, they're going to be really cautious with this guy because 2 back-to-back major knee injuries in almost as many years. You've got to really be careful with how you get this guy back on the field, especially considering the way he plays, how athletic he is. And so they're in no rush to bring him back. I don't see him coming back, anytime soon. I kind of look at November, December maybe as kind of your target dates. But the good news is he's walking around and he's running around. Like we've seen him take off running in Oxnard, and I think you kind of can feel the collective gasp from the training staff as they watch him run down the field when he's celebrating with his teammates. But nonetheless, this is a guy who really wants to be out there on the field, and he's going to do everything he can to be there.
And, of course, they got to cut this down to 53 coming up by next week. My biggest question to you, I know that as part of the business, the casualties happen throughout this. What are some of the names that we should be looking for to either be on the practice squad or possibly going elsewhere?
Ooh, that is a tough question because that's another one of those things where, you make your projections and you do all these things and you're like, oh, there's no way this guy is not making the team.
Right.
And then that guy doesn't make the team. And, it's such a tricky puzzle because it's your mind versus the coach's mind. Look, as far as the practice squad right now, a couple of names that come to mind for me. James Houston, I think, can get there. I think if he doesn't make this roster, he's probably 54 or 55 on their list.
Right.
It's going to be really close because he has played incredibly well, I think. So if he doesn't make it, then I could see him coming back to the practice squad or ending up elsewhere. Trayshawn Holden, I really think that he has played well enough to earn a roster spot. I just don't think he will. I think there are a couple of guys still slotted ahead of him. So if he clears, then he'll probably be on the practice squad as collegiate wide receivers coach. Junior Adams is the wide receiver coach for the Cowboys. So he'll probably want to stick around that. Sadiq Charles is another name that comes to mind if he doesn't clear the rotation in the offensive line room. So there's three for you in terms of what some names that I'm keeping an eye on.
And the Jonathan Mingo injury is going to change some of the thought process on who they're going to keep as well, correct?
Yeah, but it opens a spot at wide receiver because he's going to go on injured reserve, and the team can have up to 2 players placed on injured reserve on the day of final cuts in order to make a roster spot. Otherwise, they have to be on the 53 for a day and then get moved to IR. So he's going to be one of those 2, more than likely, and not official yet, but more than likely, and that opens a spot at wide receiver. So, I look at Ryan Flanoy as a guy who is probably sending Jonathan Mingo a thank you basket, not, of course, for his injury, but just for opening up a spot. And then Jalen Brooks, those are the last 2 wide receivers that I think make this team because of their special teams ability and what they can do to help there. I think Jalen Brooks is the starting gunner, so that certainly helps him out. And then Flanoy's been playing really well and probably has the most coulda, shoulda, woulda been receiving yards in NFL history because Joe Milton's passes sometimes just are over his head or off target, but he's wide open and he's getting open.
Okay, speaking of that, Joe Milton, and what in the world are the Cowboys going to do with him? We understand that he was going to be a project when he came to the Cowboys, but the reality of it is there's so many oh wow moments until you realize that he overthrew the guy by 20 yards.
Well, Joe Milton's not going anywhere. He's going to make this team, and he's probably going to be your backup quarterback. That's just how things stand right now, as I see it. The draft stock they invested in this guy, the draft capital they invested in him, and the fact that he's getting so many reps is just telling me that, look, this staff is going to work with him and try to tweak his game and try to develop him as much as they can, as fast as they can. And, if that takes 3 years, so be it. If that takes 2 years, 1 year, however long it takes, I think they're committed to trying to get this guy molded into being a capable quarterback. They love his tools, and you can't not love his tools. He's got an elite arm. He's built like a linebacker, and he can run the ball really well with his legs. So, there's plenty to work with there. Now it's just refining the little things and refining the footwork and refining the eyes and helping him go through his progressions. And that is something that takes time. And it's different with every quarterback in terms of how long it takes. Certainly the intangibles and the upstairs stuff is stuff that you look for in the college process. And you say, how many starts does this guy have? How many completions does he have? And, Joe Milton did not play as much in college compared to some of the other quarterbacks that came out and have had a lot of success in the NFL. And now he hasn't played a lot of games in the NFL either. So, it's going to take time. And the question is, if God forbid Dak Prescott goes down, is Joe Milton the guy you turn to? And is he going to play well enough for you to feel comfortable and saying, all right, this guy can go and win us a game?
We'll find out next week what everything is going to look like. But Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah, Trayvon Diggs is probably going to start on the 53. I don't expect him to go on IR. I don't think he's going to miss the first 4 games. I think at some point there, maybe 3 or 4, or even 2. I don't think the goal is for him to be back week 1. They are certainly hoping and praying and in every aspect that Trayvon Diggs can play week 1. But that's another guy that, 2 major knee injuries in a row. They don't want to rush that back, and they shouldn't rush that back for as good of a player as Trayvon is. So I think you're looking at, somewhere between week 2 and week 4. And that's just my projection. That's not, anything that I've heard or anything like that. I think I saw on his YouTube channel, he said week 3 or 4. But nonetheless, I think he's looked really good. He's out there moving and running around on the practice field. And so, the Cowboys are certainly hoping that he comes sooner rather than later to help out.
No doubt. There he is, Tommy Yarsh of DallasCowboys.com. You can hear him on Fridays at 8 a.m. Thanks, Tommy.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Have a good one.
All right. Coming up next, we have Ann Parker Coleman of K-View talking all things Texas Longhorns. And, of course, we're going to talk some high school football right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300. The Zone.
The Craig Way Show with Craig Way.
Tex Schramm, you'd hear him on with Brad Sham when we had the show and I was the producer for it, called Ask Tex Schramm. This was like 1987. The football Cardinals were moving to Arizona. Brad Sham is doing the show. And so he asked him, he said, well, does that mean also now there'll be a change that the Atlanta Falcons would move from the NFC West to the NFC East? The Texas response was, well, once you're on an airplane, what difference does it make?
Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. on AM 1300 The Zone.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One, is back in Vegas.
T-Mobile Arena.
Streaming live only on Hulu. A weekend full of superstar performances. And keep listening for the next chance to win your way there.
Get your laundry Vegas ready with Arm & Hammer Power Sheets. Just toss in a detergent sheet. No drips, no plastic jugs, no mess. Arm & Hammer is a proud sponsor of the iHeartRadio Music Festival. Clean up before you turn up. Shop Arm & Hammer Power Sheets now.
From the Odoo.com Traffic Center, Odoo.com, the only business software you will need.
About an 8 to 10 minute slowdown being caused by a crash on 290 westbound before FM 973. Delays start from FM 1100. Looking at the drive this morning on I-35 northbound stop and go from Onion Creek Parkway over to William Cannon, causing a 10-minute delay. There's also a crash on Wells Branch Parkway and Howard. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Hey there, local business owner. Ready to make some more money? Whether you own an auto shop or a dinner spot, Valpak Direct Marketing can help you do just that. All bells and whistles are included. So you advertise when and where it counts to reach new customers that spend more. Measurable results, proven reach, zero guesswork. That's Valpak. Visit valpak.com/advertise to see if you qualify for a free mailing. That's VALPAK.com/advertise. Let's grow.
iHeart presents the Big Three Basketball Championship and 8th Annual All-Star Game. Miami 305's Michael Beasley and Lance Stevenson taking on Montrezl Harrell and Dr. J Chicago Triplets for the title. Plus Dwight Howard, Greg Monroe, and more. CBS Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific.
When I grow up, I want to be a teacher. Because when I'm a teacher, I can help kids to learn and chase their dreams.
PI, a defect of the immune system, affects millions of children. Early and accurate diagnosis and treatment give children like Sam a chance to achieve their dreams.
It takes a lot of caring teachers to make school fun. It took a lot of caring people to keep my dream alive. And now, because of them, I can be head of the class.
For more information, Visit the Jeffrey Modell Foundation at info4pi.org.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-444-2013.
In this week's Marketers Report, Corey Marchesotto, CMO of Elf Beauty, partner of iHeart Women's Sports, talks about partnerships.
I see brands as antennas. So we send out the ELF signal, and what comes back is people who want to be a part of this story. Why are we partnering with iHeart? Because we want to advance women in sports.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia can get more people to hear your message than anyone else. For better results for every budget, visit iHeartAdvertising.com.
Would you drive 10 minutes for $500? That's the distance from CarMax to Henna Chevrolet. And Henna guarantees you $500 more than any CarMax offer for your vehicle. Just show Henna your written CarMax appraisal offer within 7 days, and you'll get $1,000 more guaranteed. Is your time worth $50 a minute? It is at Henna. Come get your money at Henna.com.
Henna Chevrolet, we'll always stand by you.
Together, let's drive.
It's Bud Light's countdown to kickoff on 1300 The Zone.
Left the Metroplex by talking to Tommy Yarsh of DallasCowboys.com. And we're coming back to the Syntax to talk to our girl, Ann Parker Coleman of ABU, as we get ready. We're 8 days away. The countdown is 8 days away from Texas and Ohio State. You guys over at KVU have been crushing it day in, day out. How excited is everybody about this big matchup?
Mike, super excited. I feel like that just goes without saying. And I can't let you compliment the KVU sports team without giving you a shout out for your Coach O impression earlier this week. That was pretty good. If you want to break that out again today, I'd be totally fine with that.
Well, Coach O was excited to talk about Arch Manning, as is everyone else. And you've been at the press conferences. You got a chance to talk to Arch, got a chance to talk to Michael Taft, Anthony Hill, Colin Simmons. We've got a chance to talk to everybody. But the message has been the same. This team is not worried about number one. They're worried about number one game, and that is Ohio State.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, this time of year is when everybody gets those nods for whatever awards or, preseason, AP preseason All-Americans and everything. And one of my favorite things that Michael Taft said when he was asked about being a preseason All-American, well, first, he reminded the media that Arch was not a preseason All-American, that Taft was, which is just amazing. It also just shows like the bond between this team. If they're able to josh each other like that over awards, what they would call somewhat meaningless awards. I think that just speaks to their bond. But, he just kind of reiterated, he was like, I almost didn't want to be a preseason All-American because it really doesn't matter. What you want to be is an All-American at the end of the season. And more than that, you want to be a national championship. It feels like through every question or every narrative, everything that we ask, it always loops back to their main goal. And that just, says a lot about their focus and determination heading into the season.
Yeah, it's interesting, too, because, we've talked about this a while ago, talking about the fact that this is the first time in the University of Texas history that they go into the season as a preseason number one. We were at an event the other day, and Drew Martin, who's in charge of external affairs, he didn't realize that either. And if you know the history of Texas football, you've seen them be an excellent football team. But Coach Sark said it himself. He would much rather, like you said, at the end of the year, be the number one team as opposed to the preseason.
Yeah, that's exactly what they said. And it's been so interesting to watch them. Fall camp is such a grind, like day in and day out. How do you balance taking it day by day, which they always say, but like your greater goal of making it to a national championship, which, by the way, is all the way in the middle of January now. Like it's never been a harder road to get there when it just comes to longevity of this season. And again, like this team is just, their messaging, everything about it is really, really consistent. And so Sark always kind of talks to them about kind of looking at it as like a mountaintop, like, hey, like we're one day at a time, one foot in front of the other. Don't look up the mountain, because then you're going to get discouraged, because it's that mountaintop is really, really far away. But at the same time, we know where we're going. We don't need to look up there, but we know what the goal is.
No doubt. We're talking to Ann Parker Coleman of KView. You can check her out on KView with the great team of Corey Mose and, of course, the businessman that runs the show, Jeff Jones, my guy. I wanted to get into this conversation, too, because as we get closer and closer to kickoff and you're starting to really hone in, we got press conference starting next week. It is game week. What, besides the first game, what makes you most excited about this season?
Let me think. Honestly, I'm going to go something personal, but I mean, this goes to the team too. But I mean, the reason why I love my job and doing all of this is that game day atmosphere. And I'm sure a lot of the players would tell you, yeah, being in DKR on a Saturday, even when it is 110 degrees, that's a lot more fun than going against each other in a practice in August. So just that game day environment, getting back to DKR, KView Sports is traveling to Ohio State. Or when I say KView Sports, I mean the AC. Jeff Jones and Corey Mose, your girl will be on high school football back here in Austin. So we have everything covered. And, you know, this is a team that's not nervous whatsoever about going into places like Alabama or even the Big House last year. I think they even like that. So just to go back to that game day environment, like they're excited to get to DKR, but man, it's one way to open the season on the road in the shoe against national championship team. Like that's going to be an unparalleled environment. And that's the stuff that gets me out of bed. And I'm sure it is for them too.
Yeah, that's the team that knocked them out of that opportunity to win a national championship.
Mm-hmm.
They were so close. So there's a lot that goes into this first game, but it does not make or break the season. Speaking of the season, next season, 9-game SEC schedule was announced yesterday. What were your initial reaction to that?
I love it. I feel like their format that they do is pretty similar now to how the ACC transitioned maybe about two years ago. But I think overall it's amazing. You're going to have 3 annual opponents, so your rivalries are protected. That's number one to me. You got to maintain their tradition of college football and those rivalries that make it so special. And then you're going to rotate throughout the conference. And I mean, let's just be honest. The SEC, like when you rotate opponents, there are no cupcakes in the SEC. There's not even no more, oh, well, Vanderbilt, if you go there, it's going to be easy to play. That doesn't exist anymore. Right. Every opponent in this conference is going to be tough. And so I like the fact that you're rotating 6 opponents. And then I think what's the most interesting part is you have to schedule one high quality non-conference opponent within the Power 4 each year. So it's not as if, hey, you got 9 really, really tough games, but outside of that, those remaining 3, do whatever you want. It can be an easy, no, you need to go to Michigan on week 2 or open the season against Ohio State, the defending national champs. I think that part of the entire schedule change is probably the most interesting.
Yeah, it definitely has made the party and the stakes a little bit steeper, but we're all here for that. Your top-notch universities, you need to be playing those games.
And I think on that note as well, we're looking at just now with a 12-team playoff format. Yep. It makes more sense to schedule harder opponents, because just because you lose to one team doesn't mean that you're knocked off in the same way that, you know, maybe a few years ago you would have been. I think we've seen them reward harder. I was going to say we've seen them reward harder schedules, but then we did see Indiana in there, so maybe I should make that statement.
Hold up. Hey, before we let you go, high school football is just around the corner. I know that Marcus and I were talking about it just a little while ago, how excited everybody is about high school football. Where you been this last week?
Yes. So last week I went to Vandergrift, defending state champs. You want to talk about a well-oiled machine? in Austin, Texas. Drew Sanders, I can never give him enough credit, their head coach. He just does a phenomenal job, and they return a lot of talent. Their state championship quarterback, well, he's back. And, you look at him, whether he's on the field or when I'm talking to him on the sidelines, I know he's, maybe 17, 18 years old. I think he's like 25 in my books. I've never met a more mature kid. And that goes on the field too. Something that Coach Sanders told me that was really interesting is that they look to Miles Teodicki, the quarterback, as like another coach too. They said that he's really, really into analytics, everything that goes into play on the field. And so when he has something to say, they listen to him. And that's just a great recipe for a team who, probably wants to go back to where they were last year and win it all again.
Exactly. I can't wait. Football season is here. We got football tomorrow as K-State and Iowa State kick off the football season. But as always, make sure you follow everybody over at KView. But, of course, Ann Parker Coleman bringing it to you. Thanks for getting up with me, AP. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike. Have fun on the solo up today.
You know what I do, girl. You know what I do. Oh, there she goes. And Parker Coleman. When we come back, we're going to continue the conversations. As we said, football is still here, and we're going to hear from a couple of Texas Longhorns as well. Right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
From the Odoo.com Traffic Center, Odoo.com, the only business software you will need.
Stop and go traffic this morning on I-35 northbound, causing a 10 to 12 minute out of your commute from Onion Creek Parkway over to William Cannon. There's a crash on Ed Bluestein Boulevard northbound at Balm Road, as well as a new accident on 620 at Wilson Park Avenue, but some good news on 290 westbound. The earlier crash before FM 973 is gone. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
Mark, I saw your car the other day. That license plate said world's strongest. Are you serious?
You got a problem with that? I'm the world's strongest man. It fits.
Fits? Man, the only thing that fits is your plate frame struggling to hold on to all them letters.
It's better than yours, fast guy. You run a 27-minute mile, Mike. That ain't fast. That's like a slow walk.
Hey, man, what are you talking about? Okay. That's the beauty of my plates. You can make it all yours, whether it's the team logo, your favorite nickname, you got some jokes, whatever is your style.
True. Mine gets respect on the highway, and yours gets giggles.
Man, why are you making fun of me, man? But guess what? It's a win-win for everybody. Don't go out there driving an ABC 123 on your license plate. Get a real one. All you got to do is go to myplates.com today. That's myplates.com. Use the promo code THEZONE. The Zone at myplates.com.
This Sunday, iHeart presents the Big Three Championship between the Miami 305 and the Chicago Triplets. This epic fight for the title pits Michael Beasley and Lance Stevenson against Montrezl Harrell. In their regular season meeting, Montrezl exploded for 28 points and dominated the Chicago win. Can Beasley and crew win the rematch when it counts the most? The action starts with the Big Three's 8th annual All-Star Game, featuring Dwight Howard, Greg Monroe, Jordan Crawford, Jonathan Simmons, and more. The no-holds-barred action starts Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific on CBS.
Hi, everyone. This is Tom McKay, owner of Audiovisual Consultations. We've been serving and assisting customers in the Texas area.
I think I got this by now, old man. This is Camilla McKay, Audiovisual's social media and website manager. Our company has been helping you sit back and relax for the last 37 years. We come to you, and we're the kind of workers you want in your home. We give you all the advice at a great price, and we do a lot more than just audiovisual systems. We have employees capable of performing services like electrical contracting, heated floors, motorized shades. Am I forgetting anything, old man?
Yeah, we do surveillance systems, controlled lighting systems, and landscape lighting, computer networks, multi-room audio systems, and of course, we install some really cool theaters.
I had a feeling you were going to say that last one.
Now, am I forgetting anything?
Only this. Remember to hug your kids, laugh with strangers, and make love to whoever the hell you want.
So give us a call at 512-255-8678.
Or visit us online at avconsultations.com.
That's 512-255-8678.
Let's go! You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
Ooma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
From the ABA Heating and Cooling Weather Center, this is Zone Weather.
Your Austin weather, partly cloudy with a stray shower or storm possible for your Friday, a high in the low 90s. Some clouds tonight, a low of 73. Saturday, mostly sunny, a high in the mid-90s.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like New Metal Radio. Wake up! Featuring old-school heavy alternative from Korn, Linkin Park, Nine Inch Nails, System of a Down, and more. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search in You Metal Radio, and make it your next preset.
Coach Sark here. 1300 The Zone is your flagship home for the Texas Longhorns.
Great stuff by him. Always over. Hey, unbelievable. Coming up in the next segment, we'll close out the show. Send you the Patrick. We got some sound from Nico Ryan and Eric Dickerson that we've all thought was a conspiracy, but he tries to let you know that what you thought you knew, you do know. Right now, normally you would hear the world's strongest man bringing you his world's strongest take, but he has been delayed overseas, and so he couldn't get on today, but he'll definitely be on next week as we enter game week. We're also going to change some of the formats of the show, so make sure you're tuned in as we get ready for the Texas football season, the NFL football season, and so much more. But one of the things that I wanted to point out in this segment is how lucky we are to have a guy like Michael Taft. Now, I've been around Michael Taft in so many different settings, and the one thing that I can tell you about him is he's a genuine dude. He's a genuine guy that truly cares about the people. It's not an act. His heart is definitely in the right place at all times, except for when he wants to knock your head off. And then that is where he becomes a totally different person. And I respect that. But I wanted to get into this part of it because Michael Taft was one of those gentlemen that was part of a team that was 5-7 and was a walk-on at that time. So he was going through all types of different things. But now being on teams that has transitioned from a 5-7 team to now being a contender, he has a new lease on life.
Yeah. Coaching, I think, one, leadership, watching the guys that were here first. I think Roshan Johnson, Sam Ellinger, Bijan, Jay Ford, DeMarvion, Barron Sorrell, a bunch of those guys. Leadership, watching those guys and trying to emulate what they did, but also coaching. Like, it's a blessing to have the same coaches for 5 years straight on any type of college team. That doesn't happen a lot. So to have Coach PK as your defense coordinator all 5 years, that helps the defense a lot. To have Coach Sark and Coach Millie and Coach Flood as your offensive guys, Coach Banks, the whole 5 years, that helps a lot. So,
and that's the thing about it, 5 years. Coach Sark talked about this the other day. He was talking about Michael Taft And the fact that he showed a movie that he hadn't shown the team since his first year here. And then Michael Taft was like, I've seen this movie. I was here, but I was part of that. So it's interesting to see how he's grown up and the mature level in which he's kind of taken some of that leadership from different people to make it his own. But one of the things, too, is his relationship with Jahdae Barron and Andrew Makuba, two guys that are now playing in the NFL where he hopes to be. But he was asked, does he still talk to those guys, and what has he learned from them?
Yeah, I FaceTimed both of them on Sunday, so 2 days ago. And one, Andrew was pretty happy because he got a pick six. But two, Jahdae was like, he's balling. I think he has like 6 or 7 tackles in 2 games. So if you're playing corner, I think he's got some nickel reps too. That's pretty good. So he's flashing. But, yeah, they talk about the fall camp schedule and how tough it is.
And he's learning. I mean, but – he's given us that and the fun part of the conversation and what's going on, but he's also in a place to where he's understanding, hey guys, tell me what I need to do in this situation, the leadership skills, the things that he's learning from those guys who are not veterans, but they're in the NFL and they're learning from veterans. So the messaging is a little bit different. But the other part of it is too, we've talked a lot about the wide receiver core and who's standing out, but a lot of people have been spending time talking about one Parker Livingstone and what he has been able to bring to this Texas football team. And this is an example of coming to the university, putting in the work, putting your head down, changing your body, doing the things that you needed to do to get to this point, and now is the hype real when it comes to this young man?
Yeah, I mean, like Jordan Shipley was a pretty good football player here. So to compare him to Jordan Shipley, I don't know. There was a stereotype there. I don't know if they play the same, but it was like Jordan Jackson Shipley, nobody. Oh, Parker Livingston, they look alike. I don't know if that's really true, but the hype is real about him. So I don't know how much he plays like Jordan, but he does. He's a vertical threat, great routes, and sure catcher.
And the part about it is the great routes. The Shipleys ran great routes. But I do like the fact that he threw that out there like, are we stereotyping these dudes because the way that they look and things like that?
So you saying he might be a Patriot?
At some point, he might be a New England Patriot. But no, you start to understand why for him to come back to the university at the time that he did. And I talked about this the other day. I talked about the fact that this is a young man that had an opportunity to go to the next level, but he decided that he wanted to come back to this university. We also saw him on the sideline after the game against Ohio State, overcome with emotion, and the reason being is because of Jahdae Barron, because of Andrew Makuba, because of Quinn Ewers and all the people that he played with that are now on that next level. They thought that was going to be the year for them. That season, they thought was going to be the culmination of all the 5 and 7 to get to that point of last year's team. And you start to truly understand how these guys understood the assignment, the time that they put in, the workouts that they went through, and for them to first year in the SEC, win the SEC regular season. I know they lost in the championship game, but to get into the playoffs, only team that was in the playoffs in 2023 to get back into the expanded format of the playoffs in 2024.
Final Four.
To be in the Final Four in back-to-back seasons and come up short in that moment was something that I, too, if I was him, I would have been overcome with emotion, because if you never had an opportunity to play for a championship and, number one, win it, or number two, lose it, you'll never understand that feeling. Because in sports, when you're with your buddies every single day. You spend more time in locker rooms, on the road, in meetings, in dinner with your teammates than you do with your family sometimes, especially in these sports. This is something that it hurts when you don't finish what the goals are. So coming into the season as the number 1 ranked team, that's cool. Everybody understands what it's about. All right. But the target has always been on the Texas Longhorns' back. Even when they were down, people wanted to keep them down. And now that they're up, people are really trying to get after the Longhorns. So I'm glad to have Michael Taft back on this football field. I know the leadership in that locker room is excited and to have him there. But most importantly, I know that Coach Sark knows that if something needs to get done, Michael Taft will lead that locker room in the right direction. He and Anthony Hill Jr. Coming up next, we'll close out the show, send you to Dan Patrick. Eric Dickerson spoke, and he spoke loudly on a subject that we have been talking about for quite some time, right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
The Craig Way Show.
So Texas goes in there to play him in Danny Meyer Coliseum at 4. Kurt Thomas played the game of his life, and TCU upset Texas. So a month later, they have the rematch in Austin. Texas blows them out of the water. Billy Tubbs did not want to go in and do the postgame. That's when he walked into the news conference, stood at the microphone and said, okay, I'm only going to take 3 questions. And then somebody raised their hand. Why only 3 questions, Coach? Now you're down to 2 questions.
Weekdays at 2.
From the Odoo.com Traffic Center. Odoo.com, the only business software you will need.
Rush hour traffic on Mopac going northbound, about a 7 to 8 minute slowdown from Davis Lane over to Cesar Chavez. Also bumper-to-bumper traffic on I-35 going northbound from William Cannon over to Cesar Chavez. And watch out for a crash on FM 1327 at the service road of I-35. I'm Jason Fossick with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
It's time to warm up that scoreboard and get ready to bring home the win with Specs. Specs has you covered with lower prices on all your favorite fan fuel. From craft beer, rare spirits, and world-class wine to chips, dips, and gourmet finer foods. And with same-day delivery when you order online or through the app, Specs is your MVP for the biggest score of the game. At Specs, the fun starts here.
Here's to you, cheers to savings.
Liz went from being interested in true crime to living true crime.
My husband comes back and he's shaking. And he said, your dad's been killed.
This is Hands Tied, a true crime podcast exploring the murder of Jim Melgar.
I was just completely in shock.
Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Hands Tied, and listen now.
Every family matters. Join the Salvation Army's Day of Giving August 20th and help bring shelter and hope to families in crisis. Right now, over 600 parents and children are staying in Salvation Army shelters, and 500 more are waiting. Your gift stays local and it's matched dollar for dollar. Just $25 provides a night of shelter for a child. Call 512-605-1410 or donate now at dayofgivingaustin.org. Together, we can reach our $1 million goal and give families in our community a fresh start.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit TremfyaRadio.com.
iHeart presents the Big Three Basketball Championship and 8th Annual All-Star Game. Miami 305's Michael Beasley and Lance Stevenson taking on Montrezl Harrell and Dr. J Chicago Triplets for the title. Plus Dwight Howard, Greg Monroe, and more. CBS Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific.
After 48 years, Factory Mattress is going out of business forever. Over $15 million worth of world-class mattress brands must be sold immediately. Up to 80% off at Austin and San Antonio's largest independent mattress retailer. Everything must go, right down to the bare walls. Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, and Stearns & Foster. No interest financing is still available. The Factory Mattress going out of business sale is happening now at all 14 locations. Don't miss it.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone. Our blood runs orange.
If you missed any parts of the show, all you got to do is get over to the podcast page, wherever you get your podcast. But most importantly, do it on the iHeartRadio app. Please set us as number one. Number two is our podcast page as your preset. That way you can get caught up on everything that has happened. We are about to get into game week, and we cannot wait. So you missed the interview today with Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports as he talked about the SEC and the 9-game schedule and who would be, in his eyes, some of the permanent rivals that you will have. We also talked to Tommy Yarch about the drama, which is the Dallas Cowboys, Micah Parsons, final cuts, and of course, Jerry Jones. And we talked to Ann Parker Colby of KView as she broke down her thoughts about the Texas football season and some high school action, which they will be covering over there at KView. I want to get into this conversation. Yes, we have college football starting tomorrow, but we also have final preseason games for the Cowboys and the Texans. And I want you to hear DeMeco Ryans first as he talks about his offensive line. And this is something that we have all been talking about because of the fact of what's been going on with C.J. Stroud. He had to put on some weight so he can take some of those hits that he was having. But now they have tried to re-up on that offensive line, and DeMeco likes what he's seen.
Yeah, with our offensive line, what I saw guys still playing physical up front. We were able to, break some runs there. Chubb, Woody, Jawar, all the backs were able to break a few runs. It starts up front. Those guys played physical, got a hat on a half finish. The tackles did a good job on the edge, really of handling the twists in the games. Proud of our guys for that, and the communication of picking up blitzes. So anytime you do a joint practice, you'll see different type of blitzes, different type of pressures and adjustments. So I think when you're able to handle that really well and allow your rules to work for you, and you see how sound the protections are, you see how sound we are when we play with the great technique, it works. So we just have to continue to lean into what we're doing, lean into what's being coached and do it the right way every single time, and we'll be really good up front.
How do you
And that's the thing, too. You think about that. They're doing joint practices against the Detroit Lions. And for them to be able to do the things that D'Amico is hoping they would be able to do and get that done, that's huge for that new offensive line. Another story that is coming out in the NFL, obviously, I told you at the start of the show, we talked about Jackson Dart and how good he's been playing, but Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback, rightfully so, but Dart is making his way. But the story is in Cleveland. Cleveland has to make some decisions. There's some guys that got to play tonight. The quarterback battle is going to continue to be going on. And the big story, it was Shedeur Sanders as he came out of the draft. We thought there was some conspiracy against it. We thought there were some things that didn't look right, didn't smell right. But Eric Dickerson, who is not afraid to say what's on his mind, decided to tell Dan Patrick yesterday that, hey, I know for a fact there was some shady stuff going on.
And I'll tell you this much here, what I heard from someone that's in the NFL, that the NFL told other, don't draft him. Do not draft him. We're gonna make an example out of him. And this came from a very good source. And he said that, I won't say who, somebody called the Cleveland Browns and said, don't do that. Draft
Really?
him. Yep, draft him. Don't do that. Because they weren't going to draft him either. They weren't going to draft him.
Think about that. Think about the conspiracy in some of these situations that we have seen throughout sports. You've heard the conversations. You've heard the NFL being tasked with these lawsuits because of these particular types of things. The conspiracy theories in the NFL about ownership groups and what they are saying you can and cannot do. We already heard that they were mad about the Deshaun Watson situation, which is why a lot of people are looking at ownerships a little bit differently. We will never sign a contract like that again. Do not do that. Do not draft Shedeur Sanders. Now, you can believe it or not, whatever it may be, but the fact that Eric Dickerson, who he'll tell you, I have nothing to hold against anybody, but I'm going to tell you this. For him to say that, we all knew that Shedeur was not a fifth-round pick. We all knew Shedeur was a guy that we thought was going to be one of the first ones off the board. Now, the big question is, what is going to happen? They named Joe Flacco the starting quarterback. Are they going to get rid of Kenny Pickett? They drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round. He's looked fine. Shedeur Sanders in the 5th. They brought in Tyler Huntley as an unfollowed quarterback. And you also have Deshaun Watson. They have some decisions that need to be made, and we will know a little bit more tonight and tomorrow because they have to decide what's going to happen. So it is going to be an interesting format for a lot of people as they have to get down to 53. Will they keep 4 quarterbacks? If somebody goes onto the practice squad, I guarantee you another one is going to get picked up. So it will be an interesting time. But don't forget, we got college football tomorrow starting at 11 a.m. And, oh, yeah, I will be out at the HEB on Lake Austin Boulevard. Come and hang out with myself, Brian Arakpo. Barak will be out there signing autographs. I'll be out there commentating and talking all things Texas Longhorns. I'll be there from 1 to 3. Arakpo will be signing autographs starting at 1 o'clock. Come and hang out with the Zone crew, myself, and, of course, Brian Arakpo, Longhorn great on Lake Austin at the HEB on Lake Austin. For my guy, Marcus, for my man, Mark Henry, who got travel issues, I am your boy, Hardball Hardge. Have a great weekend, and just remember this. Don't believe everything you see, because even salt looks like sugar. Peace.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things, people.